because it's fun and it's neat to pull out those ornaments and houses and things that you've had. You know, it's kind of special to pull them out once a year. It's kind of fun to pull out all the little ornaments that the kids have made through the years and put those out. So Christmas is a fun time to decorate and getting your home warm and inviting for the holidays, whether you have family, parties, any of that kind of stuff. There's some neat things you can do to kind of make it a little more inviting. So I think I'm going to hit kind of on the greenery first, just to kind of show you the different things that we have. Even if you don't do a full-on Christmas tree, because a lot of people, you know, they're traveling for the holidays, they just don't want to fuss with the tree. I get it. Or they put up an artificial tree, which is perfectly fine. But if you want a little bit of greenery in the house to kind of get that smell, you can buy just mixed boughs. So this is a mixed bough greenery. It's got the incense cedar, it's got the pine, and noble fir in it. So that's something you could either, it comes bundled, you could leave it bundled. You could separate the pieces out and kind of use it around your table candles and that type of thing that you have decorated up on a mantle. You've got a mantle going. You could certainly pull this apart and decorate with it. I'm going to pass this around. It smells really good. Everybody should smell it. It'll get you in the mood. So we'll just pass that around. So that's kind of a mixed green. This is cedar. Very pretty colors in the cedar. A little bit longer pieces, so a little bit easier to use on mantles or long tables. This is great to use with that because it's a little bit longer and the color is just a really nice, pretty green. So this is just regular old cedar. This one is incense cedar. Incense cedar, I think it's because it's cold, it doesn't smell quite as, when you start warming it up, it has a really, really nice smell to it. It's coming around. I'll pass this around too. This one has like the little volleys on it, so you know it's different. Incense cedar. A little more floppy, I guess I'd say, but still very pretty to use and to mix in on your tables, on your mantelpieces. This one you kind of got to warm it up a little bit to get the fragrance, but I'll pass it around. You guys can see it. The other things that are really fun, and these are kind of already made up. Gotta push really hard. So these are swags. There's swags that have already been made up. This one has a little loop on it, so you can put it right over a door handle, on a mailbox, in a place where you've already got easy to hook it onto. So this is a little swag already made up, ready to roll. This is another door swag that's a little bit bigger. Great thing to do with these because they're already mixed and already arranged for you, so very easy. All you got to do is throw a bow on it. Very easy to throw a bow. There's so many pre-made bows now you don't even have to know how to make bows. Just throw a bow on it. You've got a very pretty decoration to throw on your door, on your mailbox. If you've got lamp posts in your yard, anything like that going on, you throw these on there. They hold up a really long time. We have kind of sprayed them with a little bit of, call it cloud cover. It's kind of like putting a little plastic jacket on them. It keeps them from drying out so quickly. If you have them in the full sun, Arizona sun is Arizona sun. Even in the middle of winter, it's a very hot, drying sun. These will kind of start to dry out after a period of time. You can help prevent that by spritzing them with a little bit of water every few days. Just kind of helps keep that moisture in there. If they're near a door where you can kind of get to them, you'll really keep the longevity of them much longer. The swags are kind of neat, all ready to roll. All you gotta do is put them up. The other row swag. This one's kind of cool too, I kind of liked it. This one's much more, it's got a hard wire frame on it. But very pretty. It's got a mix of the noble firs in it, the pine, and the cedar in it as well. Yeah, so this you could easily put on a table as well if you wanted to put it on a table. you got it on the table and you want to put some, I forgot to bring scissors, but I can show you. Just make a couple loops with your ribbon. Put a little wire on the end of it so you've got it hooked together. And just stick it in. I should have brought scissors if I did. But you could take that, just cut that piece there, and you'd have some bows in here. It'd be a really pretty centerpiece as well. Put it on your table, coffee table, any of those kind of things. It'd be really easy to use. So kind of dual purpose with these guys. It's kind of the same concept for wreaths. So we have a lot of wreath sizes. This is the 20-inch wreath. Hopefully you're not allergic to green. This is the 20-inch wreath. We also have 24-inch and 28-inch wreaths. This one has the juniper in it. So it has a real pretty juniper with the blue kind of berries in it. That was very pretty. We also have one that has the pine cones and more of the cedar and that type of thing in it as well. But the other thing you can do with these guys, it's the same as with your door swag. You can use it as a wreath. You can use it as a centerpiece. It'd be really pretty as a centerpiece with some candles coming up out of the center of it. Maybe just a poinsettia. Set it on your table and have a poinsettia in it with some ribbon around it. So they can kind of be a dual purpose. Very easy little centerpiece to use for you. So those are kind of different greeneries that we have right now that are fun to use. We also have garland, cedar garland, which comes in 10-foot pieces. So if you're doing a banister or a light pole, that's very pretty, very festive way to go with that too. So I'll show you these little trees next because I just think they're really cool. So this one's a lavender tree. So if you want to bring some smell into your home as well this season, this is a lavender and you start rubbing it. You can really, really smell it. So it'd be a nice fragrance in your home that's not overwhelming. It just adds that little extra touch. Very cute, very easy to decorate with. At the end of the season, yes, this is a hardy lavender. So you can put it back outside. Put it in your yard or your perennial garden, your herb garden. You would want to kind of let it adjust. So if you've had it in your house for 2 or 3 weeks, you don't want to throw it right back outside. Because it's going to go, ooh, it's not used to that. So you have to let it adjust. So you put it by a front door, someplace a little protected, and then you can move it back out in the full cold. But you don't want to do it right away. It'll shock it. It's used to be warm. This is its cousin, the rosemary. Same thing. Rosemary has a really nice fragrance. If you're cooking your Christmas dinner and you need a little rosemary, there you go. It's right there. Make cute little pieces to set around your house, in your kitchen, even in a bathroom if you're having a party. What a nice thing to kind of set in there and be really cute. The other thing I wanted to show you, so these are tillandsias or air plants. I was reading Southern Living magazine. My mother-in-law's from the South, so she gets Southern Living magazine. But they were using tillandsias as ornaments on their Christmas trees. And I thought, oh, what a cool idea. And then I started thinking, well, I wonder if you could stick it in your rosemary. And that was kind of cute.
Do they have a fragrance?
They don't. No, tillandsias don't have a fragrance. But I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. Stick a few in there. They kind of have all different color ones. I thought, oh, that was a neat idea. But they had them in some big trees, but they had big tillandsias that were like this big, and they showed up gorgeous. But I thought it was a really neat idea. And then you could also, keep these and use these later in your home. It's not like you got to toss them away or put them away. You get to enjoy them year round. I don't know. I thought it was a neat idea. I thought I'd pass it along. So that's using the tillandsias. We also, if you're looking, if you have a Secret Santa or you just want to get a little gift for somebody, or you want something cute to hang in your home, These are little globes that have the tillandsia in it. It's a little bit of artificial snow and a couple of little balls in there. Just kind of say Merry Christmas. Of course, after Christmas time, you can take the artificial snow out, put a little bit of colored rock in there, just keep it up year round. But a nice little gift. They also come in a teardrop form. Kind of fun. The tillandsias are really fun. We used a lot of them in the miniature garden. If you go down and look at that, we've stuck a lot of these to that, and it's very, very cute. The tillandsias, what you do about once a week, you pull them out. If they're in a little terrarium like that, you can just kind of spritz it a little bit, put a little water in it. If they're just out in the open like something like this, you'd want to pull them out once a week and let them soak for about 15 minutes. Shake them out and put them back up. So they don't need soil, but in our climate, they need the moisture. If you were, in Houston or somewhere where you can see the air all the time, they wouldn't need it. They would just kind of survive on their own. But being so dry here, we have to give them that moisture that they want. Any more questions on that? Okay. So the other thing I thought I'd touch on is using tropicals and more traditional Christmas stuff to use either as centerpieces or just to decorate inside the home with. These would all be indoor type things. You would not really want to put them outdoors. They would not be real happy. So this, I've just taken, you can see I haven't even really planted in it. I just stuck, this I would pull off the hanger, of course, so it would be more attractive. But I didn't want to do it for the platform. But this is a joy pothos. So you can tell on the joy pothos, the leaves are a little bit smaller, they don't get as big, and it's more of a petite pothos than the regular marble queens and those big ones that you see that go around the house and take over your kitchen. So it stays a little more condensed, I guess. This is paper whites. So paper whites are one of those, it's a bulb. It has a very strong fragrance. So once it's in full bloom and going whole hog, it can almost be overwhelming. So if you're very sensitive to smells, this is probably not one you want to have on your table. Maybe in a sunroom or just not in that main area because it can be a little fragrant. I kind of like it. It doesn't really bother me. But we used to have a gal that worked for us that absolutely despised it. So, smell is one of those things that's so individual, you kind of got to make a decision on your own. But just very easy. You can see I just stuck all these pieces in this little basket. This is a little moss-covered basket that we do carry 3 different sizes in. But instead of planting in it, I'm just going to set them in it because after Christmas, maybe I'll want my little African violet, I'll get a little pot for it, separate that out, hang your pothos. So it gives you flexibility to take it apart. These are bromeliads. Bromeliads are, I think, very underappreciated. They're a very pretty tropical plant that blooms forever. It's one of those, 6 months down the road, it's still going to look like this. Now, eventually, this blossom is going to fade. Some people, diehard gardeners, go, I'll bring it back and have it bloom again. That's not me. I kind of throw them away, or I give them to someone that is a diehard gardener. But I just toss them because I don't have the patience to try and get them to bloom again. I see it as a living arrangement, like you bring in cut flowers and you enjoy those for a period of time. I feel the same way with bromeliads. I'm going to enjoy it while I have it, while it looks pretty. I'm going to keep it in my house. It's going to have a perfect spot. But when it's done blooming, I'm going to toss it. I feel the same way about orchids. Yes? There is. And we do have some directions down in the garden center that tells you how to do that because it's a matter of keeping them dry for so many days in the light. But some people, that's your thing, and some people it truly is. They take great joy in getting their orchids to bloom again, bromeliads, then do that by all means. But don't be afraid to toss a plant when you're done with it, too. I'm the same way with poinsettias. I mean, I love my poinsettias in the Christmas time. They add so much to the house. But, you know, come February, and it's got one leaf hanging off of it, throw it away. It's okay, I give you permission. You can throw things away. But I'm going to stick this bromeliad in here, too, because it gives it great color. So voila, you've got a really nice, easy put-together basket. You could easily get some sphagnum moss or Spanish moss and just kind of cover these edges so you're not seeing the edge of the pot. Dress it up a little bit more, especially if you've got it on the table. Just a really easy centerpiece of things that you can use later on. You can keep the pothos. Paper whites are going to kind of be done. In our area, paper whites won't come back next year. So if you were to plant them outside, they're not going to come back. They're a little more cold sensitive. They're in the same family as your daffodils and that type of thing, but they're a little too cold sensitive. If you had a nice radiant warm spot, I would give it a try. You know, it never hurts to give things a whirl and see how they turn out. But that's just a really easy, simple little centerpiece to put together. This is another one I threw together. So this one I used ivy in. Ivy is so pretty. I love using ivies, especially with poinsettias. I put in another bromeliad because it kind of gave me some height on there, so everything wasn't one level. Kind of nice to mix things up. You could throw your bows in there at the sides. Put a couple of bows in there. Even taking Christmas ribbon and picks and that type of thing, you could easily stick in there as well. Kind of gives it a little bit more festive flair. So there again, you've got a nice centerpiece for Christmas, but you can pull it apart later and save your ivy. You can plant ivies outside here, they don't mind that. So another just real easy, quick. Oh, sorry, Mr. Oliver. He's okay. I brought these up just to I could have shoved these in there too. This is stock. I'll pass it around because it smells really good. So I could have easily stuck a few in there as well to kind of help with that fragrance type thing. If you like the fragrances, it'd be nice to kind of stick in as your house warms up. You would smell that a lot more. So kind of another fun thing to put in. It will. It'll last a long time. They're fine outdoors too. When we get to the coldest of winter, they might kind of peter out a little bit outside. But sometimes they come back. I've had them come back in my yard, but I can't guarantee that it would. He's being silly. I thought I'd show you these guys because I thought they were really cute. Little reindeers. You can stick your poinsettia in there. Kind of a cute little thing. It also comes in a bigger size for a bigger poinsettia. You could also put in a Christmas cactus. Which Christmas cactus you can get to bloom again. It's one of those ones I wouldn't throw away. I would keep it because it's very easy to get those guys to bloom again. You can stick a little Christmas cactus in there and enjoy that. Kind of fun. Yeah, definitely. Definitely needs a ribbon. Yes. I love the ribbons nowadays because they all come with that wire edge. Remember the old days when you're trying to get your bow to stand up? These are so much nicer. And the other thing about these that I love, you can throw it in a box at the end of Christmas and next year pull it out and just kind of replug it. So much nicer. Vincent! Here's another Christmas cactus I brought up just to show you. People have Christmas cactuses for years and years and years. You know, some people have their grandmother's Christmas cactus. They can certainly be very long-lived plants. So a fun thing to play with. Yes?
Can you plant those? I just moved from Hawaii, so I don't know. But can you plant those outside here?
No. Yeah, we get way too cold. It's kind of the same thing. I can always tell when people move from California or warm climates, because they'll buy a poinsettia and they put it by their front door. And you kind of go, yeah, it's not going to last. We get way too cold. I remember going by, it was a couple of years ago, I was putting up wreaths on the gates at Prescott Lakes. And one house out there, this beautiful house, they probably had about 6 poinsettias sitting out front. I just I felt so bad because I knew they weren't going to last. So I didn't. I should have. Put them inside. Put them inside. But you know, if you're used from the valley or California, you may be used to putting it outside. Don't do that here. Will not be a happy camper. Your Christmas cactus, you could put out in the summertime on a covered deck, you know, if you wanted to, but not out in the full sun. You certainly can't take our cold. Put together using the white poinsettia. The other thing I threw in here was a cyclamen. And really, this is like my new favorite plant. I don't know why. I've kind of ignored them for years. But they're so versatile. You can grow them inside your house. You can grow them outside. I've had some in pots going on 3 or 4 years now. When it gets really, really cold, they kind of take a little bit of a hit, but they come right back. So, and they just keep blooming for a really, really long time. The buds kind of start down in here and then come up. They come in reds and pinks and purples. A really fun plant to experiment with if you haven't done cyclamen. I would highly recommend it. So I stuck him in here for some more color. White poinsettias, I have to say they're not my favorite, but when you mix them with other things, they can be very attractive because the white offsets the red, so you're actually seeing the red a little bit more. So don't discount them. It can be pretty, and certainly mixed it with this ivy that has the white edge to it as well. So it kind of had a nice mix to it. Another little pretty little bowl. Don't discount your little Alberta spruce. Very fun to decorate with. You can put them outside by your front door. If you've got tables out on your patio and you want a little something cute to decorate with, the Alberta spruce are amazing little plants. If you're going to bring it inside, I wouldn't have it in probably more than 5 days, probably max, just because you're going to start limiting its ability to readjust to being back outside. So you can certainly bring outdoor plants in, your living trees. You can bring them in, just don't leave them in very long, because they're going to really suffer from that. But it's so fun to put the little balls on, some ribbons. Just kind of have it by your front door. I kind of talked really fast this class. I just realized I was doing this the whole time. I must have had too much coffee this morning. You guys have any questions? And it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be just decorating with greens.
Those air plants, can you put them on like outdoor plants?
They wouldn't survive out
They
there.
weren't okay.
Yeah, they're definitely a tropical kind of thing. So yeah, I keep them inside. Water. In the winter? All these guys?
Can you repeat the question, Lisa?
So she's
So it
asking
picks up on
about
the tape?
watering. So if we put together a basket of mixed things and to water it, you've got a couple options. You can pull things out to water and then tuck them back in. This basket has like a plastic liner in it, so you can certainly water different things in your basket and not have to worry about them dripping. And yeah, they do have different requirements, so you have to be aware of that. You know, so like your little African violet, I mean, they don't have to be watered from the bottom. I know everybody thinks, oh, African violet's watered from the bottom, but you can water it from the top too. It's not going to hurt it. You know, so your option is either pull it out to water. You're going to be watering every maybe week and a half. So not as frequently as you think, probably. Your bulbs, you know, they don't want to be overly wet. They kind of like to be a little bit on the dry side, otherwise they start to rot. So I don't think it'd be as much of a help as you think, because we're not watering. If you're watering more frequently than once a week, you're watering too much. The bromeliads, they actually don't need a whole lot of water. Even being a tropical plant, they like that good moisture to be nice and wet, but then they like to dry out just a bit before you go to water it again. Poinsettias, they like real even moisture, so they don't like to go bone dry. They kind of like just that even moisture going through. The other thing with these guys, when you water them, if you can water them with warm water, they will thank you. Keeps them going a little bit longer. They don't like that real cold water. So even just filling your water bucket the night before and letting it sit out on the counter, so it's just like room temperature, that's perfect for these guys. The other thing with your poinsettias is, you know, and that kind of goes for a lot of this stuff, you don't want it right next to a fireplace. You don't want it near a heat vent, whether it's blowing from the ceiling or above. They just really don't like that, but they don't also want to be by a front door where the cold air is coming in at them all the time. I'm not real happy with that either. So I guess they're kind of a little finicky, but just somewhere in the middle part of the room, just where they just don't like that heat or the cold blowing on. I mean, they probably would be fine, but if you're trying to get the longevity out of it, keeping them away from the heat and cold sources would be important. Any other questions?
If we're going to put a bulb together,
Sure.
are they going to kind of grow singularly, or are they going to be
A different time. So she's asking if you put amaryllis bulb and paper whites together, are they going to kind of bloom and grow at the same time? Technically, yes, they should, because they both have a 4 to 6 week time from when you get them going to when they bloom. The amaryllis, if you don't have them in a bright enough light, the same is true for the paper whites. If you don't have them in a room that's bright enough, they're going to get really leggy because they're reaching for light. So the brighter the room you can put them in, it's going to keep them a little, they're not getting so leggy and floppy. So that's important. But yeah, they should technically grow at the same rate.
Christmas cactus, how often should you water that?
Christmas cactus, kind of depends on the environment in your home, but they truly do like to go on the dry side. So I would say you water it really, really good, so you're saturating it, but let it go almost completely dry before you go to water again. If you keep Christmas cactus too wet, the blossoms will fall off, and you've lost all your blossoms. So especially when it's blooming, keep it on the dry side. Very important. If you keep them too wet, they kind of shrivel up, blossoms fall